fate made me the plaything of an old man in Acre." These words belong to the French commander Napoleon Bonaparte, who had never lost a battle until then and was known as invincible. The person who ended this series of invincibility of Napoleon was an Ottoman Vizier, who was known in the region with a frightening nickname like Cezzar the Camel Butcher. Here is the famous Commander Napoleon's siege of Acre and the Ottoman slap he received from Jazar Ahmed Pasha afterwards. It was the 1790s. Napoleon Bonaparte, the shining star of France, has set his sights on the Middle East and Egypt. He had a dream of establishing a single world empire by uniting East and West like Alexander the Great. In line with this dream, he set off from France on May 19, 1978, with his army of 40,000 people and his navy of 280 ships. After 1.5 months of sea voyage, he anchored in front of the Alexandria on July 1st, and the first sparks of this war caught fire here. After Alexandria, he headed towards Cairo. After defeating the Mamluk Sultan at the Battle of Pyramids, he entered Cairo on July 22nd as the confident and motivated commander. Of course, he had no intention of stopping. From here, he marched to Syria and captured Al-Arish, Gaza, and Jaffa. Even an important and well-equipped fortress like Jaffa could only resist Napoleon for 6 days. Finally, on March 18, 1799, the French army arrived in front of the fortress of Acre. Napoleon estimated that he could seize Acre, which was the key to this region, in a few days without any difficulty, and the road to Damascus, Baghdad, and India would be opened to him. The person in charge of the defense of Acre was the Ottoman Vizier Jazar Ahmed Pasha. Although the exact date and place of the birth of Jazar Ahmed Pasha was not known, it is stated in various sources that he was born in 1720 through 1722. What is known for certain about him is that he was a Bosnian Muslim. He was in the service of Camel Ali Pasha, the governor of Bosnia. In 1756, Jazar Ahmed Pasha went to Egypt with him and remained in Egypt after Camel Ali Pasha returned to Istanbul in 1758. After the assassination of Abdullah Bey, with whom he had established a close friendship, by rebel Bedouins, he captured about 70 of those responsible and beheaded them all in one night. The Arab people in the region, who were horrified by his revenge, would from then on call him Jazar, which means butcher of camels in Arabic. Jazar Ahmed Pasha, who became famous in Arabia for his bravery and heroism, especially for his bloody suppression of Bedouin rebellions, was first promoted to the rank of Beylerbeyi and then to that of Vizier. He spent his life suppressing uprising against the Ottoman Empire. He re-established centralized order in the Arabian Peninsula and Egypt, where the Ottoman rule had weakened. While Jazar Ahmed Pasha was carrying out state affairs on the one hand, on the other hand, he lived in close contact with his soldiers and was closely interested in their training and education. He was an intelligent commander and a capable administrator. At night, he would change his clothes and walk among the people, gather news from the streets, and take precautions accordingly. For this reason, some even said that he was a sorcerer who could see the future, while some of the people believed that he was a saint. In this way, years followed years, and Jazar Ahmed Pasha reached his late 70s. However, his work in this world was not over yet. As a matter of fact, when Napoleon landed in Alexandria on July 1st, 1798, the old wolf would face the most important test of his life. Napoleon, who had no difficulty in his conquests until he came to Acre and won victories easily, thought that Jazar Ahmed Pasha could not protect Acre due to his advanced age. For this reason, he wrote a letter to the 75-year-old Jazar Ahmed Pasha, saying that he would spare his old life if he surrendered the castle without resistance, so that he could spend the last years of his life in worship. Napoleon's letter began as follows: "Here I am in front of the walls of the castle. Taking the remaining few days of an old man's life will gain me nothing. I don't want to fight with you. Befriend me and surrender the castle to me." Jazar Ahmed Pasha's reply to this letter was as follows: "Thanks to God, we have enough strength and our hands are holding weapons. We will spend our remaining few days of life in battles with infidels. My sultan did not make me a vizier to surrender this castle. I am Bosnian Jazar Ahmed Pasha. I will not give you an inch of land without reaching the level of martyrdom." After this exchange of letters between the two sides, war became inevitable and the swords were unsheathed. However, before this siege, the first blow to Napoleon came from the British. French ships were raided by the British Navy and suffered great losses. The British, who did not want the French to get stronger in Egypt and the Arabian Peninsula, were anchored off the coast of Acre and were supporting the Ottoman troops with cannon fire from the sea. For this reason, Napoleon pounded the fortress waters with heavy artillery for weeks in order to prevent his soldiers from entering the range of the cannons on British ships. After the cannonade started, Napoleon sent 2 more envoys to Jazar Ahmed Pasha to surrender the castle, but both French envoys were executed by the Ottomans. Enraged, the French commander intensified the attacks and finally, on the 46th day of the siege, a hole was made in the walls of the castle. When the Ottoman soldiers were unable to hold the enemy here, the French started to enter the city through this breach. However, Jazar Ahmed Pasha made an unexpected decision and ordered to blow up the armory in that area. With the explosion of the armory, which was located right next to the French troops, the French army suffered a very heavy blow and had to retreat. In the following days, Napoleon's attacks became more frequent around the destroyed walls, but the French soldiers were not attacking with the same enthusiasm as before due to the demoralization. On top of this, on the 52nd day of the siege, an Ottoman contingent of 3,000 men and supplies arrived from Constantinople, further demoralizing the exhausted French soldiers. Although Napoleon pushed his luck for about 2 more weeks, he could not get a complete result from his successive attacks during the 64-day siege and had to retreat from the Ottoman territory. Napoleon, who suffered his first defeat in his life in the face of Jazar Ahmed Pasha, whom he had initially despised as an old man, honored Jazar Ahmed Pasha by saying, "If I had not been stopped by the Turks at Acre, I could have conquered the whole East." Jazar Ahmed Pasha, who made history as the first commander to defeat Napoleon Bonaparte, continued to serve as the governor of Acre until his last breath. On May 7, 1804, he passed away in his 80s, unable to recover from tuberculosis.